In the comment section of one of my past videos, somebody asked me who has the craziest rivalry in comic book history. I took a huge liking to this comment and I decided to make an entire video about it, but I didn't know what pair to really pick from. At first I thought about Reverse Flash torturing Barry as a kid before he'd ever become the Flash, but I already discussed that in one of my oldest videos. Then I thought about Green Goblin doing the gritty on Gwen Stacy's lifeless corpse as Spider-Man just watches on helplessly, and then I thought, that's kind of played out. So then I jumped over to the Joker out here in Gotham performing bot surgeries on the Bat Family and in real life, but I've already discussed that in one of my original videos as well. And as I kept going down the list, I thought, why not talk about this one pair I've never found time to talk about that I could quite honestly say is by far the most messed up rivalry in Marvel Comics. When these two cross paths, it's on sight virtually every time. There is no bantering or monologuing or the world at stake. It's just two dudes who hate each other and want to rip each other apart. And it's Wolverine and Sabertooth. Sabertooth has recently emerged from the grips of death or exile, however you want to put it. And it's comics. Characters never stay gone for long, even after they get their head sliced off or some shit. And Sabertooth's first act coming back to the land of the living was, how can I ruin Logan's birthday? Well, he comes out the cut and kills several different X-Men along with Wolverine's son, Daken, or Daken, and then spells out happy birthday using the limbs of Wolverine's loved ones and his son to royally mess up Wolverine's head like he's been doing for give or take a few hundred years. I'll double back in case you didn't hear me. That's right. I said a few hundred years. Because Sabertooth and Wolverine pretty much have the same power set, it means they've both been alive for hundreds of years. And Sabertooth, over the past few hundred years of knowing Wolverine, developed one of the most lovely of traditions you could possibly think of, in which Sabertooth seeks out Wolverine once every year on his birthday just to fuck with him and ruin whatever good thing he's got going on in his life. And Sabertooth does this so much, it makes Wolverine hate his own birthday to the point he's forever traumatized by it. As if it wasn't enough already that Logan's life has been miserable from beginning to end, this just adds more icing to the cake. Pun intended. So what I want to talk about today is how it all happened, how it started, and how he's tortured Wolverine on several of his birthdays over the course of hundreds of years. But first, before we delve into this exciting and yet grotesque lore, let's first hear a word from our lovely sponsor. Marvel's Strike Force. Marvel Strike Force is a mobile squad RPG that allows you to battle with your favorite team of superheroes and villains in a fight to save the universe against threats like Doctor Doom and Apocalypse. Your goal is to power up your favorite characters to complete missions, unlock gear and other resources, and beat other players in PvP modes such as Alliance War and Real-Time Arena. In this game, you'll recruit both heroes and villains from across the multiverse, including Iron Man, Wolverine, Venom, and much more. From there, power up your characters to take on game modes like Campaigns, Arena, and Blitz. If you're a new player, you can unlock up to 17 total characters within the first 30 days, including Spider-Man, Deadpool, Thor, Captain America, and more favorites. You can also have an insanely fun time like I've been for the past year playing this game, just with the epic combat the game has, to the absolutely stunning visuals leading your favorite Marvel characters into the fray. Along with this, if you're new to Marvel Strike Force, be sure to participate in January's month-long event Mechanical Marvel. Kick off the new year by participating in limited time events for spectacular rewards. And this month, be on the lookout for the brand new Hive Mind team. Silver Surfer and Ghost Spider are getting brand new symbiote versions. Pair them alongside other symbiotes like Venom and Carnage to maximize synergy. And for a limited time this month, if you use the QR code or click the link in the description, you'll unlock these exclusive characters for free by logging in. You can also celebrate the release of Marvel Studios' Echo by unlocking Echo for free. Along with this, if you also enter the promo code CARDS, you can receive 500 power cores, 5 premium orbs, 100 shards, and the character Gambit. So what are you waiting for? Go download Marvel Strike Force and fight alongside your favorite heroes to save the universe today. You know that feeling you get after grittying on some bot and getting a victory royale, and your heart's racing and your mouth is like almost watering? That's the feeling Sabertooth gets every time he decides to visit Wolverine on his birthday and do something like give the guy brain damage. See, Sabertooth is what we call a sadist, and a sadist is a person who derives pleasure from inflicting pain or humiliation onto others. Sabertooth is the type of guy you'll meet in a game like Daisy, I'll say, who will become friends with you, but deep down below the friendly exterior would lie a greatly dark intent. Say for instance, you might help get this sadist a gun in the game, and then once you turn your back on them, entrusting that this person will keep you safe and watch your back, they'll unload their newfound gun on you, which you worked really hard to find for them to help them out. And when you look at your screen, just wondering why they did this, They did this because they like to do it. People like this may stick by your side for a while to get a read on who you are, and then in your weakest moment will betray you and take immense pleasure from it. This in essence is Sabertooth or Normal. You should watch his content. That guy goes into the abyss with his style of videos, I swear to God. Now the next thing after discussing why Sabertooth is the way that he is, I also want to start at the beginning of his life. See, Sabertooth grew up with a rough childhood with a father that frequently abused him and his little brother along with his mother. Things were far from perfect in the Creed household, and at a very early age, Sabertooth started to develop his animalistic tendencies due to his mutant gene. Now, I'm not going to attest that his powers made him the way that he is, because deep down I think Victor Creed has always been an evil person. And his powers developed around the same time that his little brother's birthday was coming up. And on his brother Saul's birthday, Saul had been given a nice slice of apple pie. Naturally, Sabertooth became jealous of Saul, so he ripped his brother a new one and started chomping down on that slice of apple pie. After this occurred, Sabertooth's parents thought the devil had overtaken him, so they'd pry out his teeth every night and keep him chained down in the basement for months. When Sabertooth became strong enough, he was able to get one hand free, but when the other cuff wouldn't break, Sabertooth pulled a Merle Dixon and ate his own hand off, having no fucks to give. What ended up following afterwards would be one of the most spine-chilling and blood-curdling things Sabertooth could do, killing his father brutally with the very instrument he'd used to pry his fangs out night after night. After which, Sabertooth became the big man of the house and munched on a big slice of apple pie, saying to himself, "Happy birthday." After this, we gotta jump maybe 10 years, give or take, to Logan getting captured to be a circus act by Sabertooth's brother Saul, who developed a similar mutation to his brother and his sister Clara with the mutant ability to talk with animals. To make a long story short, Logan ends up getting free and takes his revenge by killing Saul and then dips. About 4 months go by and Sabertooth arrives to visit Saul on his birthday, only to be stricken with the news from Clara that his brother had been killed. Sabertooth didn't like this at all because he kind of felt ownership over Saul and felt like if anybody could kill his little brother, it would be him. So Sabertooth tracked down his killer, which was Logan, and beat him up so badly he gave him brain damage. Also, just to keep in mind, at this time, they both didn't know each other whatsoever, so Sabertooth thought he'd stay like this forever. However, he'd soon find that this wouldn't be the case whatsoever. Because years later, while stumbling into a tavern, Sabertooth crossed paths with Logan again in the middle of a bar brawl. Sabertooth jumped in to help Logan, and the two quickly became friends. But like I said before, Sabertooth is just reading who this guy really is. What he holds dear, the way he moves, when his birthday is, pretty much everything. Doing this, he figures out Logan's got the same powers as him in terms of a healing factor. He knows that he knows how to fight well, and he finds that Logan has even got a girlfriend by the name of Silver Fox. Sabertooth takes a big liking to Silver Fox and tells Logan to be careful. She's a real pretty one, and that she'll make him feel real bad eventually, cause they always do. After this interaction, Sabertooth began to stalk the pair for a while until Logan's birthday eventually came up. Once the day came to birth the new tradition, Sabertooth started off by having his way with Silver Fox and then brutally murdering her. Wolverine would end up stumbling onto the scene and instantly know that it was the work of Sabertooth cause his stink was festering in their home. Bursting into the saloon, Sabertooth wishes Logan a happy birthday before Logan takes their fight outside. While fighting for only a few brief seconds, Sabertooth tosses Logan around like a sack of potatoes, showing that Logan is severely outmatched, which sends Logan running. Hours later, waking from a hole in the ground, Sabertooth twists the knife in Logan even more by saying that he didn't kill Silver Fox, but it was the villagers. Logan knew that Sabertooth was lying at this point, but in a way he wanted to believe that it was the villagers because he couldn't understand why Sabertooth would betray him. Thus, Logan went back to the village and slaughtered not just the men or the women, but the children too. They're like animals.
And I slaughtered them like animals.
After this, several birthdays would go by, and Sabertooth always managed to find him every single time, which must have been extremely time-consuming if you think about it, because it's not like there were any planes back then, so Sabertooth probably had to plan a trip like 3 months in advance, which is kind of funny to imagine Sabertooth booking a train ticket or just being on a boat for a few months, imagining all the ways he can fuck with Logan. But of course, as the years went on, the two always crossed paths with each other, enough so that they ended up being a part of Team X, a special covert ops group, in which Logan had his mind wiped on several occasions. Getting his mind sent through the toilet and back, Sabertooth took great pleasure in this, because he could either tease Logan with factoids from his past, or completely lie to him, and Logan would be none the wiser. Like, there was one time that Sabertooth lied about Logan's family heritage, or another time when the both of them were in World War II, and Sabertooth had sold the location of his platoon and then got them all killed, and then went over to Logan's location and roughed him up a little bit, and then Logan's mind just got completely wiped, so he didn't even remember anything that happened. Logan's brain at this point was like a memory card that just kept getting refreshed, and Sabertooth would just torture the guy, and then like a week later, Logan would remember nothing, so it would just be Sabertooth torturing him and Logan forgetting about it again and again and again. And after a few mind wipes and a couple more birthday reunions later, Logan even once asked why he keeps doing this birthday tradition, torturing him every damn year. To which he'd just simply say that it just feels right. Probably because after so long of doing it, he saw Logan almost as like a surrogate little brother to him. Time and time again, Sabertooth would kill several women Logan held dear because he also got off on killing women, like the rabid animal he is, and time again, Logan tried to fight but always lost in the end. So one birthday, Logan got really tired of this birthday tradition, so he attempted to take the fight to Sabertooth by surprise. And yet it backfired tremendously, as Sabertooth saw this as kinda breaking tradition, so he broke Logan more than he ever had done before, even selling his location to the Weapon X program where he'd be tortured and experimented on like a lab rat. After escaping the Weapon X facility, Logan went on to do many things like joining the X-Men and forming a familial bond with each of the members. But the only thing he could never do with them was celebrate his birthday, in fear for his family's lives. So Logan always ended up packing up a few weeks in advance to keep them all safe. There's like one time where I don't quite know the context because I couldn't quite find the comic, but Sabertooth causes Logan to crash and destroy his motorcycle, and then just flies off in a jetpack. There was even one birthday where Sabertooth thought that Logan was dead, so to keep the tradition alive, he kidnapped a random guy and just dressed him up as Wolverine to torture him. Just a bundle of joy that Sabertooth guy is, don't you think? Around 10 birthdays later, Logan strolled inside of a bar, pretty much going through the motions, paying the bartender to close the bar because Sabertooth could walk in at any moment, and sure enough, he would. The two greeted each other like usual, but Logan told Sabertooth that he's genuinely tired of fighting, asking Sabertooth if he ever gets tired of being a sadist. But Sabertooth would just give Logan the fluoride stare and ask Logan why he's never tried being like him before, thinking he'd probably like it. Logan would then try to walk out on Sabertooth, but after him mentioning Silver Fox giving Logan a feeling of deja vu, Sabertooth would go on to stoke Logan's berserker rage by telling Logan how good it felt to have his woman in his arms, and how good it felt when her warm blood splashed on his face. This, you can imagine, would enrage him, so it got him to pop his claws almost instantly, with Sabertooth saying that this birthday tradition isn't about fighting or even killing. It's all just playing to him. Now, some would say that Sabertooth doing this may be because he's jealous, but I think it's far from that. If you're bigger and stronger than someone and have consistently beaten the hell out of them, why would you think yourself inferior to them? Now, Sabertooth stands at a great 6'6", which greatly towers over Wolverine, standing at about 5 feet and 3 inches. Not that height has anything to do with it, but it's certainly an advantage. Then you also gotta take into account Wolverine's adamantium skeleton, which makes him weigh about 2,400 pounds. On top of this, Sabertooth has wrecked him pretty much every time the two have faced each other. So if the guy is bigger and badder, then it's definitely not some form of jealousy or an inferiority complex. Sabertooth is just simply evil. Consider that Victor used to kick the shit out of his biological little brother Saul every year on Saul's birthday. Sabertooth has been doing this sort of thing for a very long time. When Victor discovered that Wolverine had killed Saul, Logan basically became Sabertooth's proxy little brother. Like Saul, Logan's smaller, weaker, and has a healing factor to ensure that Victor can torture him into perpetuity. Wolverine's the perfect punching bag for a violent sociopath, and Sabertooth is just pure, unadulterated evil. And I could quite literally say that Sabertooth is the boogeyman of Marvel Comics. I mean, for crying out loud, man, for one birthday he created a scheme to make Logan kill his one and only son just to break the guy. And I genuinely believe that in some way when Sabertooth was exiled, he probably didn't even think about his own well-being, only that he'd no longer be able to destroy Wolverine's life on his birthday. Anyways, this has been my TED Talk about Sabertooth. I hope y'all enjoyed. Check out my Twitter, leave a like and subscribe, and as always, I'll catch y'all on the flip side. I didn't really know how to fit this in the video, but after Sabertooth was gone, Logan finally got to celebrate his birthday in peace, and the one guy he spent it with was Spider-Man. And pretty much just got shit-faced the entire time, while Spidey had to make sure he wouldn't kill anyone in a drunken rage. That's it. See ya.